The Prostitute and the Monk, a life lesson about controlling the mind. Phiên bản tóm tắt truyền cảm khoảng 1/2 phù hợp cho video kể chuyện. Long ago, on the quiet bank of a flowing river, there stood a small hermitage. Surrounded by tall trees and the gentle sound of water, it was a place where people came to seek peace and wisdom. In that hermitage lived an old Buddhist monk, respected by many for his deep knowledge and strict discipline. The master had several disciples who studied under him. They learned scriptures, meditation, and the path of inner awareness. Yet the master was not an ordinary teacher. Sometimes he was calm and compassionate, speaking softly about truth and life. But at other times, he would suddenly become stern or even angry over small matters. His disciples often struggled to understand him. Among them was a young disciple, only 17 years old. He was sincere, intelligent, and deeply devoted to learning. He respected his master with all his heart and spent every day studying the teachings and practicing meditation. One day, the young disciple made a small mistake while assisting his master. Unexpectedly, the old monk became angry. "You are dull," the master said sharply. "Living comfortably in one place has weakened your understanding." The young disciple lowered his head in silence. The master continued, his voice firm and serious. "Real wisdom does not come only from books or teachings. It comes from experience, from hardship, struggle, and from observing the world. If you truly wish to know the truth, you must walk through life itself." Then the master gave him a command that changed everything. "Leave this hermitage. Wander through towns and villages. Learn from people. Observe joy and sorrow, kindness and cruelty. Experience life as it truly is. Do not return for 12 years." The young disciple bowed deeply. Though his heart felt heavy, he trusted his master. Without hesitation, he left the hermitage and stepped into the vast and unpredictable world. For 12 long years, he traveled across the country. He walked through villages, crossed rivers, and climbed mountains. He met scholars and sages who shared their knowledge. He lived among farmers, merchants, and ordinary people. He witnessed happiness and suffering. He saw wealthy men living in luxury and poor families struggling to survive. He saw kindness that warmed the heart and cruelty that shocked the soul. Sometimes he met generous strangers who gave him food and shelter. Other times he encountered robbers who tried to steal from him. Through all these experiences, he believed he was gaining wisdom. After 12 years of wandering, the young disciple finally returned to the hermitage. His heart was filled with confidence. He believed he had learned the secrets of life. He bowed before his master and said respectfully, "Master, I have traveled far and wide. I have studied deeply and experienced life. I believe I have found wisdom." The old master looked at him calmly. Then he asked a single question. "If you have found wisdom, tell me, who is the father of sin?" The young disciple froze. He had never heard such a question before. His mind searched through everything he had studied, scriptures, philosophies, teachings, but no answer came. Silence filled the room. Seeing his confusion, the master spoke sternly. "You wandered for 12 years, yet you still do not know. Go again. Do not return until you discover the answer." Disappointed but obedient, the young disciple left once more. He walked through towns and villages again, thinking deeply about the question, who is the father of sin? One afternoon, after many days of travel, he felt extremely thirsty. As he passed a small town, he saw a house nearby and decided to ask for water. He knocked gently. A woman opened the door and kindly offered him a bowl of water. The monk drank gratefully. Then he asked politely, "Whose house is this?" The woman replied calmly, "This is my house, and I am a prostitute." The monk was shocked. His face turned pale. Inside his mind, he thought, "I have just drunk water from the house of a prostitute. What a mistake." The woman noticed his troubled expression. She asked where he was going. The monk told her about his master's question and his search for the father of sin. The woman listened quietly. A faint smile appeared on her face, as if she understood something. Then she said gently, "You look tired. Why don't you come inside and rest?" The monk stepped back immediately. "I cannot do that," he said firmly. "I am a monk. I cannot enter the house of a prostitute." The woman looked at him calmly and said, "If you come inside and rest, I will give you 5 gold coins." The monk's mind suddenly paused. 5 gold coins. Although he had renounced worldly possessions, the thought of gold stirred something inside him. For a moment he resisted, but slowly he agreed. He stepped inside. The woman spread a mat for him to sit and said, "Wait here, I will cook food for you." The monk quickly refused. "I cannot eat food cooked by you." The woman replied gently, "Then take some raw ingredients from me and cook the meal yourself. If you do that, I will give you 5 more gold coins." Now the monk's mind began to calculate. 10 gold coins. After a moment of hesitation, he agreed again, but he looked tired and reluctant to cook. The woman noticed this and said softly, "You seem exhausted. Rest for a while. I will prepare the meal for you. There is no harm in it. If you accept the food I cook, I will give you 5 more gold coins." The monk struggled inside his mind. Then he agreed. Soon the food was ready. The woman placed the meal before him. Just as he was about to eat, she spoke again. "Oh, monk, it is my good fortune that you are eating in my home. I would feel even more blessed if you accepted a few bites from my hand, and for that, I will give you 5 more gold coins." The monk hesitated, but when he heard the words 5 more gold coins, his resistance faded. His mind calculated again. 20 gold coins. Finally, he agreed. The woman picked up a piece of food and moved her hand toward his mouth. The monk opened his mouth to eat. Suddenly, she dropped the food and slapped him hard across the face. The monk jumped up in anger. "How dare you?" he shouted. "I am a monk. How dare you slap me?" The woman stood calmly. "This," she said quietly, "is the answer to your question." She looked directly into his eyes and explained. "At first, you refused to enter my house, but for 5 gold coins you agreed. Then for 5 more, you accepted ingredients from me. Then you agreed to eat food cooked by me. And now you were ready to eat from my hand. Step by step," she said, "your greed grew. You forgot who you were. That is how sin begins, not suddenly but slowly, through small compromises driven by greed." She paused. "Greed is the father of sin." Her words struck the monk harder than a slap. In that moment, he finally understood. Not through scriptures, not through meditation, but through the weakness of his own mind. With deep shame, he bowed his head and left. When he returned to the hermitage, he fell at his master's feet. "Master," he said, "I have found the answer. The father of sin is greed." The old master looked at him with compassion. "Now," he said softly, "you have truly learned." The disciple realized something profound that day. The greatest battle in life is not outside us. It is within our own mind. We do not lose our values all at once. We lose them slowly. One excuse, one temptation, one small compromise at a time. Greed does not destroy us instantly. First, it weakens our awareness, and when we cannot control our thoughts, our desires begin to control us. True strength does not come from knowledge, titles, or position. True strength comes from mastering the mind before temptation masters us.